take a look at Auburn. Now, Auburn had a big game yesterday versus Oregon. I'm going to bring those highlights up in a minute. But this Auburn team, pass-heavy team, had to come out and shoot it out the second half with the Oregon team. Really looked really nice coming together towards the end. But I think the SEC size factor kind of got a hold to Oregon in the fourth quarter. But this team is exciting, the exciting team right here to watch. This year, they brought back 6 on offense, 7 on defense. They got the wide receiver Seth Williams on offense. On defense is where they really lock it down, though. They got a nice defensive line. They got a few people in coverage, keep those deep balls down. And this year looks kind of promising for them. They got a pretty easy schedule. They got this play Oregon on the neutral turf. They got Tulane coming up next. Kent State may have a little problem with Texas A&M, but we just talked about Texas A&M. They're going to be flip-flopping back and forth from good games and bad games. Then they see Mississippi State. They got to see Florida, and they got to see Georgia and Alabama within the last 3 games. The last bit of the season is going to be pretty tough for this team, but yeah. I'm rooting Auburn. Like my guy Drew Martin. Auburn alumni. I'm backing them for these first few weeks. Definitely coming up against Tulane and Kent State, depending on the number. What do you think about this Auburn team, Sauce?
Yeah, I like Auburn. The tough, gritty team, like you say, up front and 7. I'll start off with the defense, but the front 7 is like probably one of the best in the country without a doubt. I mean, they bring it. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna come after you. They're gonna dig in. They're gonna get the job done there. That's the strength of this defense. I mean, strength of the team is the offense, but not to sell the offense short. That quarterback, that youngster Bo Nix, man, he really put it out there. I mean, he won that job. He going into camp, he wasn't the favorite to get the job, but he wound up getting the job, and he kind of fits right into Gus Malzahn's style of play. There's another guy named Bo that was a pretty good player, and his dad was the quarterback for Auburn back in the day, also. So, but he's playing where his dad went to school. There's a lot of history there, and he's got some top wide receivers. The kid that Seth Williams that caught that TD pass, he's stepping up into the role of the lead receiver, and Anthony Schwartz is another kid they're going to be looking to also to get the ball down the field. But overall look for this team, the schedule is kind of brutal. They lost. They went last year. They went 8-5, and they had 4 losses. They lost to Florida, LSU, Georgia, and Alabama, all tough teams. 3 of those 4 teams went on to win the bowl games. With Bama losing in the championship game. So, I mean, this team is going to be a gritty team. So this is a team that I'm going to be looking for later on down the year when they got to play those tough games and maybe look at getting points with this team here. Not so much to lean on them as a favorite, but maybe checking those numbers out when they play the tougher games. They might be a good defensive-minded, hold it down type in the trenches team to back with points. What do you think?
Absolutely. I like your angle on that one. Definitely a team that you would look in these big games of covering some lines. This team definitely has the makeup to upset a good team. But the thing that I loved about this team the most is when adversity came, they rose to the occasion. They didn't start off pretty good in the first half, and they just kind of kept their foot on the gas, continue to do their running game, which opened up the passing game, and do what they do best. And it came all together in the second half. And adversity is huge in football. Like, it's all about if we were all playing teams that were just so much worse than us, and we were just winning, and we could just pat ourselves on the back, that'll be fine and dandy. But it's not until you reach those teams where things get a little adverse, you have to reach into your trick bags, maybe pull something out that works or don't work, and pull another one out, or continue doing what you do, or stop what you did, adjusting. Those are the key elements of football. And this team showed it right here, game number 1 versus Oregon. that they can pull a rabbit out the hat, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
And they got the victory in this one, and I really commend that. I'm a big guy on leadership. I'm a big guy on teams that are gelled and play together. That was really impressive to me, and I was kind of on Oregon. I didn't bet the game, but I like what Oregon has to offer for the Pac-12 this year, and I like the coach from a coaching standpoint and what they're doing with their offense, and that they actually playing defense for a change in Oregon is a big deal. And
you mentioned that. You mentioned that you like their defense. Earlier when we broke this game down on the show Saturday on Closing Line, and we went to the round table, and none of us were going to be on any of this on the side or total, but we all agreed that it would be a great game to watch, and we just sit back and enjoy a great game. And guess what? We got that in this game. I think you've seen the kid Bo Nix grow up on national TV as a true freshman, lead that team to victory, and going forward, I think there's good things on the horizon for this kid. He's going to have a pretty bright future. Hopefully he stays healthy and he enjoys a nice college career at Auburn.
Now, what do you think about them coming home to play Tulane this week coming up? Let me see if they got a line out on that yet. What do you think about their mindset, BigRagoo? Like not so much the X's and O's, but what do you think about the temperament of the team going into this game coming up against Tulane? Do you find this a spot that we can look and say, they might get a chance to really open up and have some fun?
Well, the thing is, there's no look ahead here because they play Kent State at home after that, and Tulane is nothing to sleep on either. We talked about them earlier in the year too when we broke down the conference that they're in. So Tulane, I mean, this is a type of game that could have took a little bit out of them emotionally. So you might want to look at this one very carefully. I don't know what the number is, or haven't capped the game yet, but just from experience and looking at these types of games and how these teams come out of these games, this is a game that you might want to look at caution with Tulane, because Tulane, they're a pretty underrated squad, and you and I both talked about this team. We might look at them as an opportunity. This might be one of those opportunities we might be looking at Tulane. Who knows?
Well, I see right here the line's up at -19 for Auburn, but Auburn is at home after coming that road trip. Even players that play in high school know, after you come off that road game, that home game coming up that following week, your girlfriend's there, or the one you like is there. All signs are pointing up, and that if you come away with that victory that night, that we're gonna have a good party after that. So I'm always looking for teams that want to open up right there. We did talk about Tulane, but I don't expect Auburn to struggle. I'm just going to be on the edge of my seat with them open up. Like you said, Tulane's a tough opponent. Coaching-wise, you go right back to the locker room and you start coaching right away on the next team, not looking past this team. And I don't know. Could be a close game in that one. That number is kind of high. We'll see which way it goes later on in the week. But I'm just sitting for them to open up. If they don't open up against Tulane, we'll definitely get a blowout win against Kent State. So we'll see how that goes. Any last words on Auburn and BigRagoo?
No, all good here, brother. We move on to the next one.
Right on.